Hello everyone, I'm back today with another project for Brutus Monroe. I have some Not Your Mama's cardstock, I have this awesome stencil, and we are going to play with some pastes today. So, my plan for today, I want to show you lots of different ways and all the different kinds of pastes that Brutus Monroe sells. So there's chroma glaze, there is velveteen glaze, there is some glitter glaze, and we're going to use a little bit of all those different glazes in a bunch of different colors on this project. So I measured out how big my stencil was, and now I am cutting down Not Your Mama's cardstock to some panels that will fit my stencil. I've also chosen a collection of paste colors. Oh, and there's Candy Coat too. That's the other one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a panel. So I'm using this same stencil. This is the Slimline stencil. What I'm going to do is I want to create a panel in each of these colors for a scrapbook layout. So the first thing we're going to play with is this Candy Coat in green. Candy Coat is a smooth paste with some glitter goodness in it. So it's nice and shiny. It's also opaque. So that's really nice. This is the green color. I think it's it doesn't really strike me as being like green. It's more of like a blue-green or teal, but it's very, very pretty. So I'm going to cover my stencil with this Candy Coat. I am going to then remove the stencil and set this panel aside to dry, and then we're going to go ahead and make another panel. The second panel that I am creating uses a velveteen glaze in Peach Bellini. So velveteen glaze is probably my favorite. I love this stuff. And velveteen glaze is a paste, again, very opaque, nice and smooth, and it dries matte, which is so cool. I love it. So it's not shiny, it dries matte, and it's fabulous. I love velveteen glaze. The next panel I'm going to make is using chroma glaze, and this is chroma glaze in red. So chroma glaze, it goes on like it looks a little milky or a little pastel-y, but when it dries really shiny, and it's beautiful. I used the gold chroma glaze to make my flowers from the fiber paper, and it's a little bit translucent. This panel I actually ended up not using on my scrapbook layout that we're going to create today, but I did use it on another project later on in the month, so you'll be able to see that. But this is how I created the panel that I then used to make a card with. And again, really smooth, really nice. This one, though, the way it goes on is not the way that it dries. So when you go over something with velveteen glaze, the way it looks when you're done stenciling, that's how it's going to look when it dries. This changes completely when it dries. It becomes really shiny and a little translucent. Really cool. The next one we are going to use, this is the glitter glaze. So this is the first time I've ever used glitter glaze. This is the first time I'd ever put it on a project. I wasn't quite sure what I was expecting. So glitter glaze, actually, I think it looks better when you put it over things. So if you put it over like ink blended things or like colored cardstock maybe. It's completely translucent. It just has a lot of glitter in it. It smells amazing, by the way, which is so strange because mixed media products never smell amazing, but glitter glaze smells so good. I'm just throwing that out there. And so this is going to dry a little bit translucent. The other thing that I will mention about glitter glaze is it takes an age to dry. I mean, it takes forever to dry. For my last panel that I'm going to work with another velveteen glaze. This velveteen glaze is called Beautiful Blush. It's a gorgeous, like, hot pink amaze color. I love it. So pretty. I love all the velveteen glazes. I have not tried one yet that I didn't like. I really like the way it dries. It dries this, like, lovely, you have to see it and like see it. It dries this gorgeous, like, matte, creamy consistency, and it's fabulous. So the last panel we are going to do is with this Beautiful Blush, and then we're going to let all these panels dry thoroughly. Once my panels were dry, I had this idea. I wanted to create almost like sun rays, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the like extra cardstock away. So I just have the panel. And then I'm going to cut like a little triangle shape. And I'm going to do all of the panels just like this. I'm not worried about the bottom because my idea is to have these panels kind of come out from underneath my photo like rays of sun almost. So I'm going to cut all of the panels down to that shape. I'm realizing that I'm missing one. So you can see here the difference between the peach Bellini and the Beautiful Blush velveteen glaze, and then you can see how that red chroma glaze dried just really, like, it's like a cherry red. So this is how I ended up doing this because I wanted to make sure I had the same degree of an angle cut on either side. And I didn't necessarily have to put the tape runner there and do it like this, but that just made it way easier to me than trying to hold it in place. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape runner and go ahead and do that to get the triangle correct. So I'm going to cut all these down into a triangle. Then I'm going to fan them out and I'm going to play with them a little bit. And at some point here, I'm going to decide that red is too vibrant. Like, it's not going with my plan for my layout. So I'm just going to fan these out here and kind of play around a little bit. But you can see my idea. So my idea is that my photo for this layout is going to go down there right at the apex where all the triangles come together. And I'm going to use a photo of my brother and his family at the beach. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add more of the flowers. These are some of the flowers that I created from the fiber paper from Brutus Monroe. And if you want to see how I created these flowers, if you take a peek at my video from last Friday, there was, I think it says something like DIY embellishments. There's a whole tutorial in that video showing exactly how I created these gorgeous flowers, and I absolutely love them. So I have some leaves and some flowers, and this is kind of the idea. You can see I got rid of the bright red panel. I'm going to use that for something else, and I'm just going to kind of decide how I want all of these elements to be on my page. So for all these triangles, I took a little bit of glue and taped the bottoms glued the bottom of the fan together. Then I took a whole bunch of my chroma mist in a bunch of different colors, and I did a real colorful splatter just on the left side of my paper behind where that fan was going to be. And I lost the video footage of me doing that, but you can see it there. Simple. I just splattered. And I will list all of the sprays I used and all of these pastes that I used in the description box below, so you'll have access to everything. I didn't use anything special. I just pulled the bottle and flung it at the paper. I just made sure to just be on the left side, and I chose colors that matched my little fan pieces. And I thought about popping these panels up on some foam tape, but in the end, I decided that there was plenty of texture there between the splatters and the background, and then we have 4 panels of Not Your Mom's cardstock, like glued together at the bottom, where I'm then gonna have to put my photo on top. It was going to become like, this layout was going to become really bulky, really fast if I added more foam tape. So I just glued down those panels. For my photo, I am going to mount my photo with some white cardstock, and I'm doing this because we've got a lot of color going on, and I want to add some color behind my photo too, but I don't want you to lose the picture. So I'm going to mount my photo with just a little bit of white cardstock, and then I'm going to go ahead and I am also going to give it a little bit of a bigger mat with one of these pattern papers. This is from the Cherry Blossom 6x6 paper pad. This paper pack is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect for spring and summer photos. I absolutely love it. So you can see I gave that's going to add some more color to that side of my layout. And then I am going to pop the picture up on some foam tape. So I created this layout when it was dark and gloomy and snowing outside, and I just wanted some beautiful, warm, summery colors. So this particular layout is very colorful and a bit vibrant, but I think that it turned out so awesome. I love it. I love all the texture, and this is a pretty simple page designed to recreate. This wasn't really hard to do at all. Time-wise, slightly, maybe a little bit, because you have to let everything dry, but not too bad. I like to add insurance. I want to make sure this photo is not going to kind of fall off, and I am dealing with mixed media. Anytime I'm adhering anything to a paste or a paint or anything like that, I like to use wet glue for that. And my favorite wet glue is Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive. I'm going to go with a simple title, Fun in the Sun, and I just grabbed some white letter stickers from my stash. I am going to end up gluing these down with some wet glue as well. Again, because stickers and this kind of adhesive just doesn't really want to stick to the pastes and the mixed media. I'm also going to grab a little label sticker from my stash and kind of pop it down here at the bottom of my title, just so I can date stamp this layout and I have a date for it. And again, you saw like it's not really sticking to that paste. I added extra glue on the back of this as well. And then since I went flower crazy with the fiber paper flowers, I went ahead and I'm going to have lots of gorgeous embellishments that I can just tuck around my photo. These were just the perfect colors and they look so pretty. So we're going to use those, as many of them as I think I need to kind of create these fun clusters. To adhere the fiber paper down to this layout, and even when I made the embellishments and adhered the layered flowers to each other, I am using a dry adhesive. So I'm using a tape roll, score tape, tear tape. Lots of companies make lots of different kinds of this tape, and you just want a good dry, strong adhesive because wet glue will just like suck into the fiber paper. And because I live for sparkle and sequins, this would not be a layout created by me without a splattering of some bright, fun sequin mixes. So I'm going to go ahead and add some little clusters of sequins to my layout, and then it is done. Here are all of the close-ups. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I love how this layout turned out, and I'm really, really excited to continue to play with some more of these pastes and to show you all the fun things you can do with them. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, everybody, and a glorious weekend. Bye.